Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back to another explainer, where we take a magnifying glass to the absolute biggest tactical matchups on the horizon. Today, we're looking at a totally fascinating clash of footballing ideologies for FIFA 2026, Brazil versus Japan. What makes this potential matchup so captivating isn't just the history, it's the raw data. We are looking at a massive collision between historically one of the most individually dominant, high possession squads on the planet against a team that has literally perfected the art of the organized low block and the rapid counterattack. It's the ultimate knockout stage showdown, and we're going to break down the exact tactical mechanics of how these two completely contrasting systems will collide. One match, 90 minutes. So, who survives and who goes home? The stakes in this environment, they literally could not be higher. In a knockout tournament setting, there is absolutely zero margin for error. No second chances to fix your game plan next week. You get one highly pressurized 90-minute window to execute your strategy perfectly. Just think about it. One missed defensive assignment, one moment of pure individual magic, and history is written. It's basically a life-or-death tactical scenario out there on the pitch, forcing managers into these split-second decisions that will absolutely define a generation. All right, let's break down exactly what each side brings to the grass. Section 1. The Titans. Brazil's brilliance. Brazil steps onto the pitch armed with a terrifying cocktail of attributes: world-class talent, game-changing speed, exceptional dribbling, lethal finishing. When you combine those elements, you create a system that doesn't just beat defensive lines, it completely shatters them. And right at the absolute center of this explosive framework is Vinicius Jr. His jaw-dropping speed and intricate footwork aren't just for the highlight reels, right? They serve a very specific, highly dangerous tactical purpose. By isolating defenders out on the wing, he draws multiple markers and actively warps the opposing team's defensive shape. In mere seconds, his individual brilliance just forces a crack in the defensive wall, creating the space for those lethal finishes. It's this constant, unpredictable, game-breaking threat that makes Brazil practically impossible to contain for a full 90 minutes. Honestly, they only need half a chance to change the entire trajectory of a match. But facing all that Brazilian flair is a squad with a completely contrasting philosophy. Let's look at Section 2, the challengers, Japan's discipline. What is really interesting here is their relentless spirit and absolute refusal to give up. Japan brings this relentless, almost suffocating approach to the game: unyielding teamwork, strict tactical discipline, incredible organization, and relentless energy. They basically operate like a perfectly tuned machine. So rather than relying on a single superstar to break the lines, their strength is entirely collective. Tactically, this manifests as a highly coordinated pressing trap. You'll notice they don't just chase the ball aimlessly. They move in absolute synchronicity, cutting off passing lanes and forcing opponents into low-percentage areas of the pitch. Their incredible organization means they can just absorb immense pressure without their defensive block ever breaking. They are designed to exhaust you, outlast you, and surgically dismantle your rhythm. It's a unified front that historically frustrates teams leaning on individual rhythm, making Japan absolutely one of the toughest tactical puzzles to solve in the entire tournament. Now, this matchup ultimately boils down to a clash of two very different talismans, each perfectly representing their nation's core philosophies. On one side, you've got Brazil relying on Vinicius Jr.'s explosive offense. His entire game is built on speed, dynamic dribbling, and ruthless finishing, basically the spark of pure, unadulterated individual magic. Countering him is Japan's star midfielder Daichi Kamada, whose strength lies entirely in structural control. Kamada dictates the tempo through midfield mastery, selfless teamwork, and absolute discipline. He is the metronome, keeping the Japanese machinery running in perfect time even under immense pressure. It is such a fascinating juxtaposition of styles. You've got the chaotic, beautiful unpredictability of a world-class winger going directly head-to-head with the calculated spatial awareness of a master tactician right in the center of the park. Which brings us right into Section 3, the head-to-head clash. This is where these opposing tactical philosophies actually collide. We are looking at a pure clash of flair versus structure, magic versus machinery. When Brazil's deep tournament experience and undeniable individual brilliance collide with Japan's incredible organization and relentless energy, the tactical chess match gets incredibly complex. So what actually happens when Brazil's high-speed attacks hit Japan's amazingly dense defensive blocks? Well, typically, a team like Brazil will try to stretch the pitch, using their exceptional dribblers to force one-on-one situations out wide. But here's the catch. Japan's relentless energy and discipline shifting mean those one-on-one isolations almost never happen. A second defender is always rotating over to cover, so Brazil has to figure out how to thread a needle through a moving, breathing wall, while Japan must flawlessly execute perfectly timed counterattacks the exact second Brazil overcommits their fullbacks. This stark contrast in problem solving is exactly why this promises to be one of the absolute most exciting, tactically rich knockout matches of FIFA 2026. After weighing the data, the stars, and these totally contrasting strategies, we finally arrive at Section 4, the verdict. So what's it going to be? Does individual brilliance ultimately shatter the system? Or does absolute, unyielding discipline suffocate the stars? Will the explosive, game-breaking speed of a Vinicius Jr. find that one single millimeter of space to break the Japanese lines? Or will Daichi Kamada and Japan's unified front frustrate the Titans for 90 minutes and execute the absolute perfect counterstrike? I really want to hear your analytical take on this. Brazil or Japan? Head down to the comments right now and give me your exact score prediction, along with the tactical reason why you think your team survives. Let's see who has the best read on this matchup before kickoff. Ultimately, this game represents something much, much larger than just a spot in the next round. If Japan's highly organized machinery can successfully dismantle Brazil's historic individual magic on the world's biggest stage, it could fundamentally redefine how knockout football is played in the modern era. I mean, are we watching the beginning of the end for individual superstars and the rise of the unbreakable tactical system? It's a wild thought. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. If you want to keep diving deep into the tactics and data shaping the future of the sport, make sure to follow for more daily football content, and I will see you in the next one.